And I am taking a massive risk just saying this out loud right now. But before I drop this information, I need you to do something for me. Go to the comments and type your city name. Then tell me honestly, have you noticed anything unusual in the night sky recently? Any flickering stars? Any lights moving in ways physics can't explain? NASA and ESA and its other space agencies is quietly collecting this data right now, and what they are finding is deeply disturbing. Do it now, because what I am about to share might fundamentally change the way you see humanity's fragile place in the universe. It's 3 a.m. The sky is wrong. I don't mean there are clouds or storms. I mean the physics of the night sky have just been violated. What you are about to hear is not a prediction. It is happening right now. Hello everyone. The thing nobody tells you is that right now we are watching the most sophisticated military operation in human history, and we are certainly not the ones running it. But this is just the beginning of the mystery. When NASA discovered 3 weeks ago makes this formation look like child's play. And what is approaching Earth in December might change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. On August 15, 2025, the James Webb Space Telescope captured something that should have been scientifically impossible. A lead NASA astronomer was conducting routine observations of 3I Atlas, a mysterious interstellar comet that was already defying every rule we know about space rocks, when 5 distinct objects suddenly appeared in the frame. At first, scientists assumed it was an instrument error. It had to be. Multiple calibration tests were run, and different observation teams verified the data, but as the images sharpened over 3 days of continuous, intense monitoring, there was no denying what they were seeing. 5 metallic objects arranged in a perfect pentagon. Each one was positioned exactly 31,000 miles from 3I Atlas. To give you a sense of scale, that is roughly 3 times the distance from Earth to our moon. Yet they were precise to within a few feet. Here is what makes this truly terrifying. 3I Atlas is moving at a staggering 130,000 miles per hour. That is fast enough to circle our entire planet 5 times in a single minute. And yet, these escort objects maintain their formation with mathematical perfection, adjusting for the gravitational pulls from Jupiter and Saturn in real time. Let me explain why this is scientifically astounding. From a physics perspective, we call this the no-body problem. In orbital mechanics, calculating the interaction between 3 or more moving bodies is incredibly complex because every object pulls on every other object. To maintain a perfect pentagon formation while traveling at hypersonic speeds around a moving comet requires computing power that borders on the infinite. Our most advanced supercomputers would need several minutes to calculate the trajectory adjustments these objects make. Instantaneously, if Earth's most advanced satellites are like bicycles, these objects are operating like Formula One race cars on autopilot. But the real shock came when scientists actively analyzed what these objects are actually made of. And that is where this story takes a turn, into territory that, frankly, terrifies even seasoned astrophysicists. Spectroscopic analysis revealed something that broke every known law of astrophysics. The escorts are composed of a titanium-vanadium alloy in a perfect 60-40 ratio. This specific combination has never been found naturally occurring anywhere in the known universe, not in meteorites, not in asteroids, and not even in the cores of dead stars. A material scientist at MIT explained the problem. In nature, titanium and vanadium form under completely different conditions. Titanium crystallizes at 3034 degrees Fahrenheit under specific pressure conditions, while vanadium requires 3470 degrees Fahrenheit and a completely different atmospheric composition. Getting them to bond in this precise ratio requires controlled atmospheric pressure, exact temperature gradients, and industrial-grade refinement processes that take months to complete. It is like finding a fully functional smartphone, a meteor crater. Each object has a mirror-like surface that reflects 97.3% of all light that hits it. For comparison, the best mirrors our laboratories can produce hit 95% reflection on a good day, and that is in controlled, dust-free clean room environments. Why does this reflectivity matter? This is known as high albedo. An object with this level of reflectivity is essentially immune to thermal damage from stars. It suggests a level of thermal engineering where the hull itself is a perfect insulator. These objects are polished to a degree that surpasses human engineering by decades, all while traveling through the debris-filled vacuum of space. But here's what really sent shockwaves through the material. Science community, the surface shows no signs of wear, no micrometeorite impacts, no cosmic ray damage. After potentially millions of years traveling through interstellar space, these objects look like they were manufactured yesterday. The electromagnetic signature makes it even more disturbing. Every 11.2 seconds, each object emits a pulse pattern containing mathematical constants. Pi calculated to 847 decimal places, the golden ratio, prime number sequences up to 2311, and what appears to be solutions to mathematical theorems humanity has not even discovered yet. Think about this. These signals travel at light speed for all 5 objects to pulse in perfect synchronization across 186,000 miles of space requires communication systems that make our quantum internet look like smoke signals. This suggests they are using quantum entanglement for instantaneous communication, a technology we are only just beginning to theorize about. When Pentagon analysts reviewed the classified data, their assessment was immediate and chilling. A senior defense official, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said, "If I observe this formation pattern around any Earth-based aircraft or naval vessel, I would classify it as hostile surveillance with protective overwatch. And this is military-grade operational planning. The pattern is not random, it is defensive, and it follows protocols that our own military uses for high-value asset protection." Researchers have observed the escorts actively repositioning to shield 3I Atlas from micrometeorite impacts. They deflect charged particles from solar wind using focused electromagnetic fields. When space debris approaches the formation, the escorts move to intercept like bodyguards protecting a VIP, but the defensive capabilities go far beyond simple shielding. Advanced radar analysis reveals that each escort generates an electromagnetic field strong enough to deflect objects up to 640 feet in diameter. That is the equivalent of stopping a small asteroid cove. The energy requirements for this kind of field generation would drain our entire International Space Stations as power systems in under 3 minutes. This suggests they have mastered zero-point energy or cold fusion, something we dream of but cannot achieve. These objects maintain these fields continuously while performing complex orbital mechanics at impossible speeds. Military space surveillance networks have also detected something else. The escorts are scanning everything. Radio telescopes across 6 continents have picked up directed energy beams sweeping across Earth's surface, satellite networks, and deep space installations. So these are not random emissions, they are systematic intelligence gathering operations. A former Air Force Space Surveillance Director described what they are seeing. The scanning patterns match Soviet reconnaissance protocols from the 1960s, but with precision and scope that makes our best spy satellites look like toys from the Stone Age. They are mapping our defensive capabilities, our technology levels, and our response patterns. This is military intelligence gathering at a scale we have never witnessed. The implications are staggering. Someone or something considers 3I Atlas valuable enough to assign it a 5-ship escort through our solar system. This is not exploration. It is a protected mission with military-grade security, and this is not the first time either. When Oumuamua visited our solar system in 2017, it exhibited impossible acceleration patterns that stumped scientists worldwide. I remember it well because I was the one who led the charge suggesting it was artificial. It sped up as it moved away from the sun without any visible outgassing or comet tail. The object was cigar-shaped, roughly 1,000 feet long and 130 feet wide, tumbling end over end and it raced through our solar system. And its surface reflected light in ways that suggested metal composition. And its trajectory was so unusual that NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory had to create entirely new tracking protocols. Now, with advanced analysis techniques, researchers have gone back through archived radar data from 2017. What they found is disturbing. Faint signatures suggesting Oumuamua had similar escort objects too small or distant to detect with 2017 technology. 3 separate radio telescope arrays have confirmed weak but consistent electromagnetic signals from Oumuamua's trajectory path, signals that match the mathematical patterns now being broadcast by the 3I Atlas escorts. The conclusion is unavoidable. Oumuamua was not alone either. 2 interstellar visitors in 8 years, both with impossible properties, both potentially escorted by artificial objects. The mathematical probability of this being a coincidence is roughly 1 in 847 billion. Those are odds that would make lottery officials suspicious, but here is what really concerns astronomers. If advanced civilizations are sending regular reconnaissance missions to our solar system, why now? What changed about Earth or our technology level that warranted systematic surveillance? This relates to the dark forest theory of the universe, which suggests civilizations hide from each other to survive. Perhaps our radio waves, leaking into space since the 20th century, have finally painted a target on our backs. During the Cold War, both superpowers developed classified protocols for exactly this scenario, detecting and responding to superior surveillance technology. Those protocols assumed the technology would come from rival Earth nations, not from beyond our solar system. Those same protocols are now being activated for the first time in 40 years. A former CIA director speaking at a closed congressional hearing put it bluntly, if a foreign nation demonstrated this level of technological superiority over our military assets, it would constitute an immediate existential threat. The fact that this technology originates from outside our solar system does not make it less concerning. It makes it infinitely more so. Perhaps most unsettling of all, the escorts are trying to talk to us, and they're doing it in ways that prove and they understand not just mathematics, but human psychology and communication patterns. When radio telescopes at the upgraded Arecibo facility transmitted prime number sequences toward the formation, something extraordinary happened. Within exactly 47 minutes, the time it takes radio waves to travel to Sriad Atlas and back at light speed, the escort signals changed. The objects were not just acknowledging Earth transmissions, they were completing mathematical theorems. They were solving equations we send as partial sequences and responding with increasingly complex mathematical proofs. A SETI cryptographer working on the project described the breakthrough. We sent them the first 10 digits of pi. They responded with the next 1,000 digits. Calculated to a precision we cannot even verify with our computers. We transmitted the basic geometric proof. They sent back solutions to mathematical problems our best mathematicians have not solved yet. And the intelligence behind this is not just superior, it is actively teaching us. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. The mathematical responses are not random academic exercises. They are specifically designed to demonstrate capabilities in physics, engineering, and computational power that are centuries beyond our current understanding. Some responses include molecular diagrams for materials with properties we can barely imagine, substances that could store energy at densities 400 times greater than our best batteries, alloys that remain stable at temperatures approaching absolute zero while conducting electricity with zero resistance, and structural materials that could theoretically support buildings thousands of miles tall. The energy storage systems they have transmitted blueprints for could power entire cities for decades, using containers no larger than shipping containers. The propulsion concept they have shared make our most advanced rocket engines look like stone tools, theoretical drives that could accelerate spacecraft to significant fractions of light speed. But perhaps most unsettling are the biological diagrams, complex molecular structures that appear to be genetic modification templates, cellular repair mechanisms that could theoretically extend human lifespan indefinitely, and what appear to be terraforming protocols for converting hostile planetary environments into Earth-like conditions. It is as if they are saying, we know you are watching. Here is a fraction of what we can do. Here is what you could become. Now, consider whether you want to remain at your current level or join something much larger. And the communication pattern has evolved over 3 months. Initial responses were simple mathematical confirmations. Current transmissions include complex philosophical concepts encoded in mathematical relationships, historical references to Earth events that suggest long-term observation of human civilization, and what cryptographers believe are instruction manuals for technologies we have not invented yet. The discovery has triggered a classified space race that makes the Apollo program look like a science fair project. NASA, the European Space Agency, China's space program, and Russia's Roscosmos are all independently tracking 3I Atlas and its escorts using every available satellite and deep space telescope. Intelligence sources report that China has repositioned 3 military satellites to maintain constant observation of the formation and has launched 2 additional communication satellites that are actually deep space surveillance platforms equipped with quantum communication arrays. Russia has quietly activated the Cosmos series defense satellites that officially do not exist. And European space agencies have coordinated their radio telescope networks into a continent-spanning surveillance system. The Pentagon has activated Space Force assets, including classified orbital platforms and deep space monitoring stations that were previously restricted to nuclear threat assessment. Military space surveillance networks now track the 3I Atlas formation with the same priority given to incoming ballistic missiles. Each nation is racing to decode the mathematical transmissions, hoping to gain technological advantages that could shift global power balances for centuries. The fear is not just about alien contact, it is about which Earth nation gets access to advanced technology first. A former NSA analyst explained the stakes. Whoever successfully communicates with these objects first gains access to technology that could make current military capabilities obsolete overnight. We are talking about energy systems that could power entire nations, manufacturing processes that could eliminate scarcity, and transportation technology that could make intercontinental travel take minutes instead of hours. This is not just about science, this is about survival in a suddenly very different universe. Underground facilities at Cheyenne Mountain, America's nuclear command center, are tracking the objects 24/7, with dedicated teams monitoring every electromagnetic pulse, trajectory change, and communication attempt. Similar installations in Russia's Yamantau Mountain and China's underground command centers are doing the same. For the first time since the Cold War, all 3 superpowers are preparing for an existential technology gap, but this time, the superior technology is not coming from a rival Earth nation. It is coming from civilizations that may have been traveling between stars longer than complex life has existed on Earth. As 3I Atlas approaches its closest point to Earth in December 2025, the formation is changing in ways that have NASA administrators working around the clock. The perfect Pentagon is slowly expanding, with each escort moving farther from the comet in what analysts describe as a transition from protection formation to deployment configuration, and recent trajectory calculations reveal something that has every space agency on the planet losing sleep. The formation will pass within 2.3 million miles of Earth. That is close enough for detailed scanning of our planet, our technology, our population centers, and our defensive capabilities. For comparison, that is less than 10 times the distance to our moon, which in astronomical terms is practically next door. But there is something even more concerning. The electromagnetic pulses from the escorts are increasing in frequency and complexity. Instead of the original 11.2-second intervals, they are now broadcasting every 8.7 seconds and accelerating. The mathematical content has also evolved from simple constants to what appears to be countdown sequences and coordinate systems. Military space surveillance networks have detected additional objects in deep space, too faint to analyze in detail, but following similar trajectories toward our solar system. Infrared telescopes have identified at least 12 additional heat signatures on intercept courses with Earth's orbital path, all maintaining formation patterns similar to the 3I Atlas escorts. If 3I Atlas and its escorts are an advanced team, and we may be seeing the beginning of something much larger, long-range radio telescopes have picked up systematic signals from the direction of Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri, and Wolf 359, all nearby star systems that could theoretically support the kind of advanced civilization capable of this technology